For nearly 120 years, Waynesboro has been home to the Field Trials, a bird dog competition. Take a look around the city of Waynesboro and you'll see images of bird dogs. There are murals, a Hall of Fame dog on the water tower, and even businesses are named after them. The nickname Bird Dog Capital of the World seems to be etched on everything. But how did this come about? I went searching for the answer. Take a look. If you take a look around the city of Waynesboro, you'll see images of bird dogs. There are murals, a dog on the water tower, and even businesses are named after them. The nickname Bird Dog Capital of the World seems to be etched on everything. But how did this come about?
We've always had field trials here, even before there was an association or a club.
In 1946, Life magazine came to tour our trials and to be here. Well, they were so fascinated with what we were doing here, until they said, well, I think Waynesboro should be called the Bird Dog Capital of the World. And that's what I've always been told.
Bird dog field trials are a competition to evaluate the dog's ability to find and point coveys, or flocks, of quail. Bird dogs are traditionally English setters and pointers. There are different reports on how they started. Some say they date back to 1866 in England. Others claim they were born in Tennessee in 1874 to settle an argument over who had the best bird dog.
Oh, it was really a big thing, especially years gone by.
The field trials came to Waynesboro at the turn of the 20th century. Senator W.H. Davis wanted to bring a field trial competition to Georgia, and Waynesboro was chosen. Leah Carter Chambers is the director of the Waynesboro-Burke County Museum. She says the town had the perfect traits to host the field trials.
Because of our land, the layout of the land, some parts are hilly, some are flat. Because of our layout and because of our vast amount of quail, these are reasons that we probably received the field trials and that the men love the sport.
Over a century, Waynesboro brought home several national championship dogs, many of them in the Field Trials Hall of Fame. The first was Count Whitestone II in 1908. Chambers imagines there was quite a fanfare when he came home.
I think it brought a lot of fame and importance to our town, to our community, and that just continued throughout the years.
Quail hunting and the field trials brought people from all over the country to Waynesboro.
So the first trial, I believe, ran in the 1903 time period, and famous people from all over the world came here eventually. Two famous people that you might know, Bobby Jones, there, photograph, and Ty Cobb, the famous baseball player.
Several people from Waynesboro are also in the Hall of Fame, including Fred Bevan, Henry Barrell, Elwyn and Inez Smith, and Harold Ray. He worked as a trainer for both Bevan and later the Smiths. Ray now owns Smith Setters Plantation. He says he's been involved with the sport since he was a teenager.
A man named Rodney King would come out to our farm and run his puppies. So he asked if I'd like to go to a field trial, which I did. And he took me to Indiantown Gap, Pennsylvania. And I just fell in love with it there.
Ray is the only living Hall of Famer still in Waynesboro. Several of the dogs he trained are in the Hall of Fame as well, including Tomoka, whose likeness is seen on the water tower today.
Here I am, just a common dog trainer, sitting at a table like that. And, you know, it's mind-boggling where it has taken me. So when I say the common denominator, all the different walks of life, no matter the richest to the poorest, considering me at the time, are sitting at the same table.
Over the years, field trials were held at various private properties. Then, in the early 1950s, Henry Barrell, heir to the Eagle Pencil Company in New York, bought more than 8,000 acres in Burke County. He named the property Dylane Plantation after his daughters, Diane and Elaine. He held the field trials at Dylane until he died in 1976. Nell Mobley is now the event organizer. She says Barrell was passionate about his dogs and the sport.
These were not just hunting dogs. These were prize dogs as far as he was concerned. They got some odd names.
Barrell loved his dogs so much, he built Bird Dog Cemetery on Dylane. Buried there are more than 100 dogs, 4 horses, and several other pets. The cemetery is surrounded by large Spanish moss-draped oak trees. Each headstone bears a unique inscription.
Come on, Jet.
Field Trial Hall of Famer Harold Ray knew Barrell and says his dedication and love for his dogs was unequaled.
It was a personal epitaph of what he felt about the dog and whatever, but to create the cemetery and the all the epitaphs and stuff for the dogs just showed his love for the dogs.
When Beryl died, he was buried near his beloved animals. His remains were later moved to New York with his family. In the years to follow, the field trials were held at different locations until 1988, when they were moved back to Dye Lane. The property was and still is managed by the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. The trials have been held there ever since.
We feel especially fortunate to have grounds here, that we don't have to depend on landowners, because I can remember the years of the landowners, and we would just go by faith that hopefully they were going to let us hold them there.
Mobley's husband organized the field trials until his death. She says she made a promise that after he was gone, she would keep the field trials going. And she has.
This is a real sense of pride for me to do this. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't put my time into it. Just a real sense of satisfaction that I get out of them. And I feel like I'm giving something back to my community.
While bird dog trials may not be the biggest spectator event, it is a prestigious one that draws competitors from all over the world. Hey, Waynesboro, that's just part of your hometown history. In Waynesboro, Kim Vickers, WJBF, News Channel 6. While bird dog trials may not be the biggest spectator event, it is a prestigious one that draws competitors from all over the world to the quaint town of Waynesboro. For more on the history of the bird dog field trials, including some famous people it's drawn here, check out WJBF.com. Hey, Waynesboro, that's just part of your hometown history. Kim Vickers, WJBF, News Channel 6.